here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Stretch the Sketch Day, and this is the sketch that we are going to be stretching. Now, of course, you see all of these nice horizontal lines, so you know what that means. That means washi tape. I am going to use some khaki cardstock, and I'm going to use some pretty poor photos. We watched fireworks from our hotel room, so there's definitely quality issues with the photos, but I want to tell the story. So we're going to make this into a 2-page layout. Let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so I am going to pick out some washi tapes here, and I'm starting with this, I guess, other khaki colored white polka dot washi. And what that's going to do is kind of set out a little bit of a neutral color palette. I'm already doing that with the khaki colored cardstock. I've picked some bold colors, you know, it's got that Disney red, but I've also picked out some metallics and also a black and white. So I am trying to follow the sketch and basically just stretch it out. Now, this is something that I did on purpose. I decided that my upper levels and my lower levels of the washi tape would not stretch all the way across the page. I decided that what this would do is kind of give it separation, even though the rest of the layout is completely a 12 by 24 canvas. It makes sense in my head. It doesn't make as much sense as I'm trying to explain it to you guys, but that's the way my brain works, and that's what we're going to go with. Now, I did make sure to have the printed areas correctly because on one side the white dots are closer to the edge than the other, and I really didn't want to have that kind of jarring effect. If you're looking all the way across the page from left to right, I don't want you to have this up-down look because even though there is a gap between these two pages, it still causes your eye to travel all the way from the left to all the way from the right. And that is partially because the dots are lined up. However, if my dots were off and a little bit funky, it would cause a break and a gap from you being able to look it all the way through. So we just don't want that to happen. Now, I am using this kind of rickrack tape. It is a thin tape, and let me just tell you, I'm glad that it went down as easy as it did, and it didn't give me as much trouble as I thought it was going to, because it is a thin tape. It is delicate. It kind of tears easily, which is a good thing because, you know, you want your tape to tear easily when you're applying it to your page, but it's also a bad thing because you don't want your tape to tear easily when you're applying it to your page. So I am going to use this rickrack tape as the triangles that are in the sketch. I'm just going to place that completely across the page. I do start to place it down a little bit crooked, and I'm going to go ahead and peel it up just ever so slightly and put it back down. So I smooth those out, and I was thinking about grabbing some pattern paper for the thicker areas on the sketch, but you know what? I just decided, screw that. We're just going to do washi tape all the way. Washi tape all the way. My original thought was to not have any paper on this layout at all. I did change that up. Once I get all my washi down and I put the photos on top, it kind of feels like the photos kind of sink into the washi a little bit. And I really didn't want that. I wanted the photos to kind of stand out, even though they are such poor quality photos. I mean, you see the reflection, they're grainy, they're nighttime photos, they're fireworks from a bit of a distance. But the story is there that I need to tell. So, you know, they got to be there. These are the photos I have, so this is what we're working with. I do end up matting them on some red cardstock just to give them a little bit of oomph off of all of what's going on with the washi tape. So I am kind of keeping it symmetrical a little bit. I am keeping the pattern together, And ultimately, I decide that I need to fill up this area with washi tape. I wasn't going to, I was going to leave a gap, but it just looked a little too naked for me. And you know, you can't have naked khaki. I don't know, maybe I'm spreading out. No naked tag holes and no naked khaki. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just a little too naked for this particular application. So now that I have my photos, I realize that they are too large and I'm going to trim them down. So originally I trimmed them down to, I guess I don't trim them down anymore. I think I leave them as 5x3. So basically I'm just cutting off an inch of each length and width of the photo. And I don't mind doing this. I mean, that's a good amount of photo to be cutting off. But like I said, bad photos, it's, you know, pictures of the other outside. I'm not cutting off any of the fireworks. And even though I'm not cutting off any of the fireworks, you're still going to be able to see this and you're still going to be able to tell what the heck it is. Now, in the sketch, the photos do bounce a little bit. So I am going to continuously bounce all 5 photos across my page. And this is where I grab the red cardstock. So the red is not an exact match to any other red I have on this page. As a matter of fact, each red is a little bit of a different shade. And I'm totally embracing that by introducing more and more red colors. So the red in my Rick Rack washi doesn't exactly match the Mickey head washi, and that doesn't exactly match what will eventually be my title and embellishment, and that surely doesn't exactly match the red photo mats around the photo. But since I am embracing it and making all the red, it just works. Now, you might be looking at this and going, wow, you've covered up just about everything on the page. You should have left one of those rectangle areas for journaling, but I will still get the journaling on this page and I don't have to really worry about it. Now I am trimming these pieces of white 8.5 by 11 that's not white, that's red. I am trimming these pieces of red 8.5 by 11 cardstock down to 3.25 by 5.25. I did make a mistake and cut one of them exactly 3, so off those scraps went into the bin. Yes, they went into the bin, and this is a cheap cardstock. It's more like printer paper than it is cardstock, so it's not like I'm saving something super duper special, but I needed it to mat my photos, so I had to toss those and recut out the mats. So here I am bouncing the photos along, and I'm just going to continue that across the page. I did only stretch it to 5 photos because that's how many photos I had. If I had 6 photos, I might have stretched it all the way to 6 photos, but this is the amount of photos I had for this layout, so that's what we made happen. Now I am going to go ahead and cut these 2 pages apart. I just pull out a straight trimmer here and then just cut it straight on up the edge. So you can totally see where the pages will meet up together. Now these will go into a binder type album, a 3-ring album. It's not like the post-bound albums where those suckers would be right next to each other. So if you even misaligned it a little bit, it was, you know, it was like a jarring impact. Now you got the binder rings in between the layout here, and they really don't bother me. I see it as part of the book, so it doesn't bother me when I'm flipping through my layouts. However, if something like this really bothered you, you could always sew your page protectors together so that when you flipped it up, these 2 pages were right next to each other and you didn't have the gap. But like I said, the gap doesn't bother me. I am using these kind of metallic-y red letter stickers, and these are thicker, so I put them down here at the bottom and it says hotel. I grabbed these Teresa Collins black and white tile stickers that I pulled off of a give and take table at a retreat, and I decide to spell out view from the. So it says view from the hotel. All right, guys, sorry for that little bit of an interruption. Somebody was messenger calling me, and it stopped my voiceover recording. I was just chatting away, and then I looked down and realized that we were not recording, which kind of stinks. So anyway, these are Teresa Collins. Like I said, I pulled them off of a give and take table at a retreat. I have got to tell you, some of my favorite things have come off of a give and take table. These little tile stickers, my teeny tiny Heidi Swap stickers came from a give and take table. I love give and take table challenges where you have to scrapbook a layout just using supplies from the give and take table. All that kind of stuff is a fun time for me. So while I am placing these letter stickers down, please be sure to check out everyone's links down below. There will be a bunch of different takes on this sketch. Sometimes people do what I did today and stretch them to two 12 by 12s. Sometimes they shrink it to an 8.5 by 11. Sometimes they go really small with a traveler's notebook. I've made 6 by 12 pages before. Just all kinds of things. Anything we could twist, turn, stretch, shrink, mangle up the sketch almost. Somebody is going to do it. So make sure that you click on all of those links down below. And who knows, you might find a new YouTuber to follow. So now I am looking at this and I am like, wow, all of this washi tape is making a big impact. I'm not going to have to put a lot of embellishments on this if I don't want to. So I don't. I grab a couple epoxy flare from Scrap and Happy Studio, and I have this heart one that I'm going to nestle into from the, and then I am flipping through the rest of my flare and such things, and I decide to go ahead with the Minnie Mouse flare here. I add some adhesive and pop it down so that it kind of nestles into the little chair of the L. And now I'm like, okay, do I add anything else? Am I going to add other things? Do I want to make this lumpier and bumpier? I'm like, you know what? No. There is a lot of implied texture on this layout. I've got the varying shininess of all of the tapes. I've got a lot of color. I've got a lot going on the layout. Then I decide to grab a black Muji pen, and I am going to actually write my journaling right on top of this khaki and polka dot washi tape. So I'm just talking about how we stayed at the Hilton and it was so close to Disneyland that we were able to enjoy the fireworks from our beds. On this day, we thoroughly enjoyed them. All the pops, bangs, and sizzles. However, there was one evening the loud bangs really irritated us. Lana even yelled, "Shut up, Mickey." All in all, being super close to the action was perfect. So that is going to do it for this layout, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, be sure to check out everybody else's links down below, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.